What's going on, fam? What's going on? What's going on? Um, I have. Well, actually, I got something here real quick for you, real quick. Hold on. I got something new. I got something new. I want to add on to the equation here. I got. This is what I got. This is what I got. You ready? You ready? Check me. Check me. Oh, I got a bell now, y'all. Look, listen. Hold on. I'm do one more time. I'm do one more time. Oh, your boy got a bell now. You know what that means? Class is in session. Class in session. Class in session. Yeah. Class in session, y'all. What's going on, family? Sorry, let me do it one more time. In case some of y'all didn't catch it. Hold on. Yeah. Your boy got a bell now for class. See, I was never really the one to really like to pay attention in class like that. But, you know, I don't know. I always found it hard back in school days to like focus in and zoom in, and like focus. And I ain't trying to discourage nobody from paying attention in class. Let me start there, right? Pay attention. Definitely try to pay attention. But myself, I don't know. The spirit just wasn't sitting with me to just maybe God had other plans for me. He was telling me, the school and stuff. Maybe you're more like business minded, entrepreneur type. I don't know. That's besides the point. Anyways, how's everybody doing today? Blessings, family, blessings. We're just getting in with the day, starting the day. It's a beautiful day out. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day as well. Um, I'm gonna probably. I don't know how long this one's gonna be, but I generally try to keep it short. Try to get my points across, and I'll try to keep it as short as possible. But basically, this is going to be a well. If you haven't already seen, I've started a three-part series on lust. A little discussion about lust. Because I feel like this is something that we need to talk about, and it's also something that shouldn't be compressed in just one video type deal. It's something that you got to really like sit and talk about. Dissect it, and different avenues, different levels, and understanding it. So this is definitely something I feel like should be talked about more. Something that people don't talk about, and something that I feel like it affects us more than we know, more than we think, and it affects our society basically, whether we want to realize it or not. It's definitely a huge issue that a lot of people are not um, paying attention to, that I feel like needs to be brought to the forefront. All right. So, of course, me understanding this, I'm like, you know what? Let me just try to get some points in, bring it to the people, let you guys, be the ruler of that information. All right. And you run with it if you want. If you don't, that's fine too. I'm just here to get the info in front of you to, make it seem, make the issue, to put some more light on the matter. All right. So that's pretty much what it is. Um, so this is going to be the third part 3 to the series. I've already done part 1 and 2. If you haven't already, check it out on my previous videos that I've already uploaded. But this is going into the third part. All right, decided to break it down in 3 parts, and this one I've decided to title it "The Controller of Lust." The controller, like the video games. Yeah, all that there. All right, so we're just gonna jump straight into it. Once again, I hope you guys are having a blessed day. You guys are awesome. But once again, let's just hop straight into it. All right. All right. So once again, I have my YouTube fam on this side, and I have my TikTok fam on this side. In case you guys see me, moving or looking and all that there, that's what's going on. All right. So let's jump into it, guys. Once again, part 3. This is part 3, and we're calling this one "The Controller of Lusts." Let's get into it. Let's have a discussion. Okay. Now, when we are looking at lust, right? A lot of us, we well, lust is basically considered. Hold on, sorry. Let me make a small adjustment here. I'll just leave it like that. I think that'd be fine for now. Something like that. All right. So yeah, when we look at lust, right? A lot of people, they, how do I even start off and say this? Some people, they know, most people, they know that once you're in lust, you kind of know that you're like, you don't have a control of it. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, no one can really say they have control of lusts at the end of the day. All right. Lust is something that basically controls you. You can get control of your lusts. All right, but lust ultimately controls you. People think that you now yes, we make the decision to lust, but lust gets to the point where when you get so deep into it, you have ultimately no control anymore. All right, and then what happens is lust controls you. You don't control lust at all. A lot of people, some people might even be in denial of it, be like, no, no, I control lust, I'm the controller. No, lust controls you. All right, as much people want to say it, come to denial of it, lust controls you. All right, we don't control lust controls us. All right, so I just want to make that bold quick statement real quick. All right, now the flesh, right? Now the flesh, it has controlled the mind for so long that now the mind, it has basically set strongholds. It's like it's set strongholds against us. All right, the flesh, basically, I'm gonna repeat that again. The flesh, right? It has basically controlled the mind. It's controlled your mind for so long that now the that basically it has created a stronghold against you. That's why you don't have the control anymore that you once had control of, or you thought you had control of. Let me say that. We never have actually have control of it, right? Now strongholds, right? Let's talk about strongholds. What are strongholds? Now strongholds are basically structures that they protect. It's like structures that it protects itself, um, and it kind of keeps you bound, right? Now it keeps you bound. Now not only spiritually, but it keeps you bound mentally, like more so mentally, and ultimately it leads to our physical bound, us being bound physically. That's what strongholds are. It's a spiritual hold. It starts spiritually, and then it binds you mentally, which ultimately leads into the physical. It's a process. All right, that's what strongholds are. Obviously we can't see it, so that's how you won't know how it works. But strongholds are something that happens spiritually, and this is all demonic possession, demonic, demons like holding you. Um, more so, we create these things ourselves first, and then the demons like feed off of it. Is what happens. We create these things ourselves, and demons feed off of it. That's how it really works. All right. Um, Now, the way you think, it builds a fortress around it. Once again, like, this is why a lot of people, they protect that mindset, that mentality. That's why whenever you might even want to talk about uh, lust to someone, what happens a lot of the time, some people don't even want to listen to it because they've protected that area so well that they don't even want to talk about it. They're like, ugh, here's a godly person talking about lust. I don't want to talk about lust. Like, let's not talk about lust, because they've invested so much of their time into it already that they don't even want to talk about it. They've already shut you out from even wanting to. That's a stronghold. That's like the demons working with you to be like, no, no, let's cut this person off from you being exposed to their light, so that way you don't ever get free. That's how it works. You know. um so basically what this is you have set you have kind of like, you set up patterns in your own mind of ways of thinking, right? Where it's become normal to you. You set up patterns in your own mind, and it's basically become so normalized to you. So basically, it will take some. It'll. Well, actually, in this case, in this case, it's like not good patterns. It's bad patterns, right? Because it's not good patterns. It's bad patterns, and basically, it will take. Now, when this happens, it will take some retraining. It'll take some retraining, some relearning, some restudying, you know, disciplining yourself, you know, and accountability to kind of like break that pattern. You know, when we set these this mental state, when we set this fortress up in our own minds, now it'll take a lot of restudying, relearning. Now you got to relearn. You know, you got to break this thing back down. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not an easy thing, overnight thing, to just like, once you already train your mind to just protect it so much, now you got to like do the work to reverse it in a sense, because it's hard to break. All right. And also, remember how I told you before, demons feed off of this. When you come into agreement with defending the lusts, what you're doing is you're, now what happens is when demons see that, they're like, oh, this person here is defending their lust, or this person here is feeding off of their pleasures. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna encourage them. We're gonna push them further into this. We're gonna, you know, put a wool over their heads. That way, we make them to go further into it. That's how demons work. When they see you, you're highly invested in it, right? So demons will hope to make a deal with you first before taking over, right? They'll want to make a deal with you before taking over. And how do they do this? Now they can do this through entering through. Okay, you have different ways of happening, right? Now these are basically things that you do to open up doorways for demons to enter into. All right. Now we have, well, if there are people under 18, this is a not so kiddish conversation, so we're gonna jump straight into it. Okay. I mean, cover your ears or tell your moms that, you know, hey, I should be on this. All right. So we have masturbation. I'm gonna say that as flat as it is. All right. You have illicit conversations where you shouldn't be in, sexual conversations, things of that nature, right? You have sexual contact, doing the physical act with people. These are all doorways. You have pornography, right? Pornography is another entrance way for demons to come to enter into. Now, all yeah, you have all these things, all the above. These things are things where demons can enter, you know, into um your atmosphere, your oh, sorry, dropped my phone. Okay, demons can enter into your temple through this way, right? You're basically making a deal with them. It's like a contract. I'll do this, but well, obviously you don't know it's a contract. It's something that you don't know. That's why the devil moves the way that he moves, because, say for example, pornography, right? Pornography. Sorry, I can't say certain words. Pornography, right? Now, especially in today's modern day, why do you think it's so easily accessed? It's so easily accessed. It's on, you know, with the click of a button, you can get to it too very quickly. And guess what? Those who work for the devil, they know this. That's why they put it in position for it to be easily accessed. And once again, when it's so easily accessed, uh, it's a contract. It's a contract that you're not aware of. You're not. It's not like you actually knew that there's a writing and you've agreed to it. You know, you said yeah, I approve of this. Like, no, it's not necessarily how it works. It's a spiritual contract. You can't see it. You don't understand it. But once you yourself open your eye gates and your ear gates, and, you know, to these things, you're coming into agreement with it, and this opens up all kinds of issues to enter into your life unknowingly. Some people, honestly, I think some people, yeah, some people do know that these things, it does bring bad things to you, but a lot of people don't know this thing. Most people, let me say that most people don't know this. So um that's something to take in consideration before we, whether it's, like I said, pornography, whether it's sleeping around, whether it's um any, yeah, just sexual conversations. All these things open up these doorways, right? Now, also another thing I want to talk about. Now, some demons, how they work is they work better with people. Okay, for this reason, and what I mean by this is they basically, demons, they can use people to arouse you. Okay, demons, they can use people to arouse you. Um, Now, this strategically creates strongholds that we refer to as what? Our type. All right. This is how a lot of demons arouse us. They use people that we consider our type. You know. Now, our type, right? Let me do a little side note with this. This is basically having an idle mind. When we have something that's called our type, when we have a type, what I'm trying to say, someone that we, when you think of our type, what do you think about? Your preference, right? Your preference, or someone that you put on a pedestal. What I'm trying to say? You put them in your mind, as a pedestal in your mind. So what happens is the um, the enemy, he will use this as a way to um, if he knows you have a type, basically he's going to use it against you. A lot of the time he's going to use your type against you. He's going to send you somebody who's a narcissist that's in your type. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, he's going to send you somebody that that's in your preference, but it's working for him in his kingdom to tear you down. Obviously you won't know it, you won't realize it until it's too late, kind of thing, when you're already too far in, kind of thing. So now, once again, now the devil, he will, and another thing, actually, the devil, he will never like allow you to personally possess a person who is in his kingdom. All right, he'll never allow you to possess a person who's in his kingdom. He'll never let you get along with them. He'll never let you actually have a happy life with them. You know what I'm trying to say? That's why you can't actually find peace with certain people, because the demons that they have assigned to them, they're sent on a mission. They're not sent. You're not sent to. Why do you think when people, like, you can be together with somebody for so long and then randomly, or somewhere down the line, people start changing. Let me say that, changing. It's not necessarily a changing that's happening, because people don't change. People, you are who you are. What it is people are just good at hiding who they are. And a lot of these people, they have demons attached to them that we don't know about. It's hard. It's tough out here. This is why it's so important to wait for God. Wait on God's timing. Talk to God. Take our sweet time when it comes to people. Like, you can't just get yourself involved with just anybody. It's not how it works. Not in this world. This is the real world. I mean, I wish it was fairy tale and daisies and all that. Like, the first person you interact with, hey, you're the one. Let's go. But that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You got to really be careful who you engage with in this world. Who you entertain in this world. This is a real world. There are a lot of people. Some people. There's a percentage of people who. There's some who's on your side and some who's actually working to destroy you, or don't like you. Constantly, seeking to destroy you or say valid, not so great things towards you. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there are people out here like that. Why? Me personally, I can't tell you, because I've never been them. I ain't got nothing but love in my heart for you guys, for everybody. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I can't tell you I've ever hated anybody, because I don't hate nobody. I never had that kind of that heart. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know how it is to hate. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know why people even hate. It's weird to me. Like, I feel like you only got one life to live. Live your life, and then that's it. Live it to love, and then move on. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, how you even got time to hate somebody? You know what I'm trying to say? But anyways, that's besides the point. Um, whew. All right. So now, once again, when you get involved with certain people, narcissistic people, and basically these are considered the devil's henchmen. Narcissistic people are considered the devil's henchmen. You know, it was hilarious. Like once as soon as I said that, I felt like some people probably like ran away, but hey, you know the word got the words got to cut just like a sword. You feel me? It's got to you know it's got to pierce. It's got to do its thing. It's going to do its thing. I ain't you know. Some people are going to take it and love it. And some people are going to be. Actually, there's a verse. I can't remember the verse right now. There's a verse that talks about where the word of God, basically, when you speak to people, speak life into people. Some people will take it and appreciate it. When you speak light to people, some will take it and appreciate it, and others will like neglect it, hate it, be mad at you about it, things of that nature. Why? Because some people, if they're in darkness, they're gonna prefer to remain in the dark. They don't like the light. Think about that. Like, think about evil, darkness and evil, or you know, like bad guys in movies. When you shine the light on them, what happens? They be like, or vampires. Or another good example. You'd be like, I can't. I don't want to hear. Nah, no, I wasn't ready. You know, I'm trying to say like, they do all that because they don't like the light. They operate in darkness, so that's what they want to domain. That's the domain. That's what they want to remain. All right, but um, once again, when you get involved with narcissistic people, these are simply people who are like the devil's henchmen. All right, they're the devil's henchmen. They're like on an undercover mission. They have like certain demons attached to them. That's why you can never actually find peace with narcissistic people, because once you get to a certain point, what happens is in the demonic realm, what you can't see is it's like a switch, right? A switch where the devil will be like, hey, all right, it's time. Boom. You hit the switch to tell the demons that's working within that person, all right, it's time to cause dysfunction. It's time to wake up and do your damage type deal. You know what I'm trying to say? And when they get the message, then dysfunction begins to happen. That's narcissistic people. That's why they're so good at hiding who they are at first, but then after a while, they you can only hide who you are for so long. You can't hide who you are forever. You get what I'm trying to say? Um, Now this demon, right? This demon in most cases will be described. It will be considered described as to be like Jezebel, Delilah, as they feed off of lusts, they feed off of control, and they feed off of manipulation. All right. Once again, I'll repeat that. The spirit of lust, generally speaking, will be from the Jezebel spirit and the Delilah spirit. All right, the Jezebel spirit and Delilah spirit both have the same. Obviously, they have the same mission of destroying, um, people, God's people in general, and they drag you down. It's like a pull down. They drag you down through, and I'll tell you how they work. Once again, three ways and how they work. Jezebel and Delilah, generally speaking, they work through their lust, through their control, and through their manipulation. Once again, Jezebel, and I have to repeat this 3 times. 2 times not enough, because the reason why I say this is really important, because this is something that it's happening in the world that people don't realize. Me, I did my research. I do my work in this field. I don't play. So I want to put you on game. Once again, Jezebel and Delilah spirit, the way they like to function, out of lust, right? They like to draw you in. They like to make you feel good, say sweet things, draw you in. Anything to make you feel good, to draw you in, that's how they like to operate, right? They also operate out of control. right? These spirits like to operate out of control, which means they generally like to be in control. They don't like to lose control. They like to be in control, right? They like to control you, your time, your matter. That's why they're constantly like, you'll probably notice like your time is a lot of the time is going to them. You won't even realize it, but you'll be like, dang, like why I feel so drained? Why am I always like, why I feel like this person's always like dragging me in their corner, right? Control. Oh, actually, to go a step further with control is they also like to cut you off from your sources around you. Why you think a lot of narcissistic people, if they see that you have a circle, they see you have family, friends, influencing you around you, what they like to do? They like to cut you off from that, right? They don't like you to have friends. They don't like you to have family members too close. Why? Because they know that if these friends and family are too close to you, they can influence you to get away from them. And they want to have complete control of you. All right? That's control. That's the second one. Once again, the third one is manipulation. Right? They like to manipulate you. Lust, control, and manipulation. Now, manipulation, we can, there's different avenues of manipulation. Manipulation goes all kinds of direction, big and small. I don't really need to go too deep into that because we know what manipulation is. I'm sure at some point you felt that you've been manipulated by somebody. They probably got a spirit on them. Pray that demon off of them. All right. And now, well, there's a higher ranking demon actually. His name is called Asmodeus. He's also a high lust, but he's like a high ranking spiritual lustful demon. I think Delilah and the Delilah and Jezebel spirit actually works for him. They actually work for him. He's a higher ranking demon, but that's a whole nother topic within itself. Um, all right, now these demons, right? They feed off of lusts. They're lustful demons. So what they're gonna do? They're gonna feed off of lust, right? They feed off of lust. They feed off of idolatry. They feed off of sexual immorality, and they also what they do is they look for family that is not rooted. They look for families that are not rooted in God, and they primarily work from when you're young, and also trauma. These are avenues where they like to work from. I'll repeat that. These demons of lusts, they like to work. They like to choose families that are like not highly rooted in God, right? They like to choose the weaker families, the families that are like more vulnerable, more worldly, more like your feet off your flesh, you feed off your idle mind. If you like money too much, they know to approach you with a deal. You're more inclined to be approached with a deal. You know what I'm trying to say? That's why you see a lot of these artists, they get approached by these record labels, and yeah, they approach them and they make a deal with them because they know that they're idle mind. They're driven by the things of the flesh. They're driven by money and power and all these things. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna use that against them. That's how they function, right? They're gonna draw you in with what you like. Once again, that's how lust works. The controller, remember the controller? That's how it works. They also like to operate through um, idolatry, sexual immorality. Once again, right? And the other main point was when you're young. There it is. That's what I want to bring up specifically. When you're young, they love to approach you or come at you when you're young, because there's a verse in the Bible where it says you you teach a child in which the way they should go, and they won't depart from it. That goes, ooh, excuse me. That goes for both good and bad. So, for example, we all know a child is easily influenced, right? So, if you train a child to do good, what is a child more inclined to do? Good, right? Because it knows more of good. It knows what you're training it up to be, and also, vice versa, vice versa to that. On the flip side, if you train a child to be bad, what's the child gonna more so be inclined to be? Bad. However way you train the child is more so what it's inclined to be. So that also means when the child if you train the child to be bad, as the child gets older, the child is going to be more normalized to thinking, oh, this way of thinking is normal to me. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, they're not going to think it's more so bad. They're going to lean more on, this is normal. This is normal to me. I'm going to keep running with it. This is normal. It becomes normalized to them. So that's how the lustful spirit, these demons like to operate. They like to get you when you're young. If they can influence you when you're young, then more so they got you. Now, that's not saying that you can't break free from it. You can always break free from it. But this is just how they like to operate. They like to get you when you're young because they're what's the word I can come up with without being so harsh? They're losers. Let's keep it short, okay? They're losers. They're weaklings. They like to approach you when you're young. The cowards. Let me get that. That's a better name. They're cowards. That's a better name. They're cowards. These demons are cowards. All right. Once again, another avenue they like to attack you and approach you is through trauma. They like to do, through a lot of traumatic situations. They like to, come at you through that, through trauma. And once again, boom, got it. I think there it is. Okay. Boom, got it. I think there it is. Okay. I think we're good now. All right, we're back. We're back. We're good. So these demons, if you are rooted in God, they can't easily get a hold of you. They can't access you as easily. The closer you are to God, the more you're like a repellent. You can't get, yeah, you get the point. Um Now, all right. Now, I wanted to go over another point with you real quickly. This is also really important that I feel like needs to be mentioned. And this is more towards the controlling spirits, the Delilahs and the Jezebels. This is towards them, okay? Now, as the Bible says, right? Rebellion is as witchcraft. I want everybody watching this right now. This is like a serious point. I ain't even playing right now. Anybody, if you ever in your past point, and I'm not attacking nobody. I ain't attacking nobody. I love every single last person watching this. All right? I'm going to say that right now. If at any point in your past history, if you've ever had the spirit of wanting to control somebody, throw that out the window. I'm gonna say that right now. If you ever, even now, if you have it, throw it out the window. Get rid of it. Because God don't play about. He don't play about that. Let me tell you what I mean right now. Let me tell you what I mean. Now, once again, the Bible says that rebellion is as witchcraft, right? Manipulation is witchcraft. It is witchcraft. So to the eyes of God, this is witchcraft. Point blank. You trying to control somebody, it's witchcraft. He don't play about that. You should never desire to control another human being. You should never desire to control another human being. You have to give people the freedom to make a decision. God gave everybody free will for a reason. You can't allow your impatience to cause you to infringe on the will of another human being. right? You can't allow your impatience to just, you gotta let people make the decisions, make them, if they, if they say no the first time, don't, how some people, like, you might ask them for something, a person says no, and then you're still sitting there asking them for the same thing, hoping and you want them to say yes. Like, God said don't do that. If a person says no the first time, let it be that. Stop trying to egg people to do what you want them to do. If God himself does not move against the will of human beings, what places us above God? We gotta really ask ourselves that question. If God himself does not infringe on, he doesn't make you do what you don't want to do. If God himself doesn't make you want to do what you don't want to do, what makes us think as people we should do that to other people? Why should we try to control other people? Something to think about. If God himself doesn't do it, we shouldn't do it. That means we're crossing the line. When you desire to control someone, let me tell you what happens. It's like it's basically, it's an illegal act in the spiritual, and it allows demons to come and arrest you, to bind you in activities in their kingdom, which makes you not only like move guilty for judgment in the eyes of God, but it also brings upon your curses in your life without you even realizing it. That's also why they call Satan, that's why they call Satan the father of lies. Why? Because he tricks people. He tricks his own children. It's crazy how people can just, I get it. You guys don't know he's doing it to you, but when you're working for him, you don't realize he's lying to you too. So when you are committing these acts of trying to get people to do, to manipulate and do all these things, what's happening is you're also setting yourself up for failure in the eyes of God. You're gonna get like, not only you're gonna get judgment from God, but what happens is it's like a little contract where it allows you to be arrested in the spiritual realm by the evil demonic, the demons and all that stuff too. Like, you're setting yourself to be locked up. You know how you can physically be locked up in the physical realm? Well, in the spiritual, it's the same thing. If you're working for them, you're setting yourself up to work under their system, their laws, their regulations, all that. So you can easily be locked up spiritually and not even realize it. And and basically, people, once again, when they're working for him, they don't realize it, but you're just running with it. You don't think about it. You're just running with it. You're working for him. You get in spiritual conflict in the spiritual realm. You don't know it yourself. That's why you'll see certain family members pass away before their time, because those who are working these things, when you see family members pass before their time, these are simply spiritual contracts that are being signed unknowingly, knowingly. Some people know that they do it. Some people don't know that they're doing it. It's a dangerous field. That's why it's better not to engage in these activities at all. Like, stop trying to manipulate and get into all that, controlling, all that. Cut that off. Because now it's like basically you're bringing these curses upon yourself. And now this lustful spirit, right? Proverbs has something to say about this lustful spirit. I wrote this one down. Let me read what Proverbs says about this lustful spirit. And this one actually stood out to me a lot. Man, I can't even like, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even express how much this one stands out to me. And I wrote it down. I want to share it with you because this is definitely how they operate. All right, let me read it. This is what Proverbs says about the lustful spirit. Okay, in Proverbs, in Proverbs 9, in case you want to go check it out yourself later, in Proverbs 9, verse 13 through 18, it says, "A foolish woman is clamorous," right? "She is simple and knoweth nothing, for she sitteth at the door of her house, on a seat in the high places of the city, to call passengers," right? "Who go right on their ways, who is simple, let who," and this is what she says. Who is who? Okay, so this is what she says. She says, "Who is simple, let him turn and hear. And as far as him that wanteth understanding, she saith to him," catch this part, and I'm gonna go over it with you real quick. She says to the simple-minded man, these spirits say to the simple-minded man, "Who is simple, let him turn and hear. And as for him that wanteth understanding, she saith to him," this is what she says, "Stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant." I'm going to repeat that once again. This is what she says. This is what the lustful spirit says to a simple-minded man or a simple-minded person. I'm saying simple-minded. Obviously, there's no gender roles here. It can be, switched around. It can be a man that does the same thing to a woman. It's not just one-sided. It goes both ways. This is how men can manipulate you as well. For women who are more simple-minded, this is why I say you got to grow closer to God, because the more you grow closer to God, you're no longer simple-minded. So they can't use these same tricks on you. That's what it means. But the more you're in the world, the more you're simple-minded, the more that you are more vulnerable to these tricks. See, I told you I love you, so I'm gonna give you what's real. I'm gonna put you on game. That's what love comes with, like giving you information that's gonna like help you out through things. That's what love does. People who love you will do these things. People who don't love you won't do this. People who don't love you, they will take from you. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't have to go much into detail. They'll take from you. They will manipulate you, lie to you, do all these kind of foul things to you. And what these things are is basically keeping you in the darkness, keeping you in the shadow. But when someone loves you, what do they do? What does that mean? That means they're gonna spread some light and shine it on you. They want to shine some light on you, which means once the light is shined on you, you're able to see better. You're able to be more directed. You're able to move better through things, through life. So that's what I'm here to do. Shine a little light on the devil's head. Bing. So let's go further into it. Once again, this is what the lustful spirit says to the simple-minded man. "Stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant," right? And I underlined, now in this sentence, I underlined 4 words: stolen, to sweet, and secret to pleasant. Catch this. Stolen waters are sweet. See that? Stolen too sweet. So basically, they're trying to convince you that what's stolen is sweet and what's done in secret is pleasant. Those are the key words in this entire thing. That's how the lustful spirit that's what they try to tell you and have you operate to understanding, so that way they can draw you in. What's stolen is sweet, and what's done in secret is pleasant. That's how they like to trap you. But guess what? I underline these four words for a reason. Why? Because these words contradict themselves. What's stolen is not sweet, right? Because we know that once you steal, there's cautions behind it. There's you're gonna face an issue behind that. You know what I'm trying to say? You steal, what happens? You're going to jail. Or some countries, you probably, how they do the whole chopping your hands off thing, or oh, like how they try to do in Aladdin. Like, that's how it works. There's gonna be something behind that. That's not a good thing. You're gonna get penalized for it. There are penalties behind these things. So that's how these spirits work and operate. They try to tell you, oh, what's stolen is sweet, and what's done in secret is pleasant. And oh yeah, so once again, what's stolen is not sweet, and what's done in secret is not pleasant. Now, and obviously we think that what's done in secret is pleasant when it's not. What's done in secret, it it's in secret to us, but we're not thinking. We're thinking carnally. We're thinking flesh only. We're not thinking spiritually. We got to think more spiritually as well. I'm trying to say, like, we're only looking. It's because we live in a physical world that you can actually see, touch, taste, things like that. But our living goes beyond that. Why? Because God is living right at the same time. And what is God? God is not physical. He's a spirit. God is spirit, and he's watching every single second, every single moment. So when we do things in secret, like, that's not of him, what does that do? Nothing good. I'll tell you that. But he knoweth. Now let me continue on with what the Bible says about this lustful spirit, right? Let me continue. But he knoweth not that the dead are there, and that her guests are in the depths of hell. That's the part that stands out even more so to me. Once again, this entire script is speaking about the simple-minded man or simple-minded woman, and how the lustful spirit gets you. The lustful spirit likes to give you these sweet, subtle, small things in the beginning, not telling you that there's penalties on the other side of it. But he knoweth not that the dead are there, and that her guests are in the depths of hell. That's deep. That thing gives me chills when I read that. But I don't know about you, but when I heard that, not for the first time, when I seen that for the first time, I'm like, dang, like, that makes you not want to, get engaged with lust. Like, at least me, because I'm like, you know, of course, who does evil, they're not gonna tell you in the beginning. They're not gonna tell you that they're doing evil. Who that does evil is gonna tell you that they're doing evil to you? Anybody who's actually doing evil to you, then they're gonna tell you, hey, tap you on the shoulder, hey, I'm doing evil to you. Hey bud, hey bud, hey buddy, I'm doing evil to you. They're not gonna tell you that. It's in secret for a reason. So that way they, once it's all said and done, they had their way with you. Now, let's talk about real quick. Let's talk about binding this strong man, right? Binding our way of thinking that we've kind of created against ourselves in this lustful atmosphere. Let's talk about binding it, taking it down, tearing it down, getting rid of it. All right, let's talk about that. So that way you can be set free. Now, ooh, sorry, got this burp that's like stuck. There it is. I got it. God bless you, boy. Bless you, boy. All right. Now let's talk about getting set free real quick. All right. Now, binding the strong man is basically being exposed to the light. Right? Binding the strong man is basically being exposed to the light. Now, what does that look like? The light is basically you being exposed to one, truth. What's the opposite of truth? Lies. Right? And also being set free from these bindings in our minds is another point. Truth, one's truth, the other one is what? Revelation. What's revelation? It's the revealing of things. When God reveals things to us. Say for example, you know how when you get revealed something, what's the first reaction that you get? You be like, ooh, ah, oh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. I could make a song about that, but we're not gonna get into that. But that's the reaction that you get, right? And basically, these things is what God is saying. Like when you get exposed to these things, to truth and to revelation, what it happens is it brings light to you. And what happens when you hit darkness with light? What happens? What happens when you hit darkness with light? The darkness goes away, right? It pushes dark. It pushes the darkness back. The darkness begins to be. It begins to be pushed back. And what happens with the light? The light is expanding. You're coming to more understanding. You're coming to revelation. You're coming to truth. And that God is saying this is what breaks the strongholds that we have against us. Coming to understanding, revelation, truth, these things. Right? Now, God is so great. He's so gracious. Like he's so patient with us, right? God is patient. And if God is gracious with us, I think it's important that we do our due diligence in actually changing ourselves for him. If he's patient and trying to take his time with us, I think it's in our best it really is in our best interest to get right with him, because one, not only is he being patient with us to get right, but it's in our best interest where it's like you honestly we I I'm kind of me myself I'm kind of afraid to operate too long without God. I feel like we all should be like that. You should be afraid to operate too long without him. I know I am. I mean, because what happens is now when you're operating too long without him, you're more vulnerable to like the devil and his schemes and his ways and the people that he sends your way. You know what I'm trying to say? Like you're way more vulnerable to these people, to these things. But when you got God, he backs you up. He backs you up. He makes you see past these things. Right? So that's why it's so important to have him in your corner. And what you want to do now is you want to put on the armor of God. How many people have heard of that? The armor of God. Put on the armor of God. And if you haven't heard of it, I took the diligence to write it down. I went straight to the verse. I have the verse written down, and I'm going to read it to you. What it says about the armor of God. All right? Let me read it. In Ephesians 6, verse 10 through 18, this is what it says concerning the armor of God. All right, buckle in your seatbelts. Wait, hold on. I'll do it for you. All right. Here, I'm gonna take you for a ride. All right. This is what it says, because this is a good one. It says, finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, right? That you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For our wrestling is not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities, against governments, and the world's rulers of darkness of this age, and against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places. Therefore, put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having the utility belt of truth buckled around your waist, and having put on the breastplate of righteousness, right? This is talking about the armor of God, in case no one heard about what the armor of God is. The breastplate of righteousness, right? And having fitted your feet, this is now talking about your feet, with the preparation of the good news of peace, right? The feet is with the news of peace. Above all, taking up the shield. Now we're talking about the shield. Taking up the shield of faith, with which you will be able to quench all the fiery darts of the evil one. And take the now let's talk about the helmet. And take the helmet of salvation, and the sword. Now we're talking about the sword, and the sword of the Spirit. This is a whole body armor that we're talking about here. The sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. The sword is the word of God. With all prayer and requests, praying at all times in the Spirit, and being watchful to this end in all perseverance and requests for all the saints. That's talking about the armor of God. All right. You got the sword, you got the breastplate, you got the belt, you got the shoes, and then you got the helmet. These all serve a purpose. All right. And they all basically is what God's telling us to equip ourselves with, to like basically protect ourselves. And basically, when you think about these items, what is that? It's like you're a warrior. You're thinking about a warrior being suited up, ready for battle, right? For war. That's what God is saying. Get yourself suited up for war, for so you can be resistant to the devil's ways, so you can go to war with the devil. He's trying to put you on game on what you need to be prepped for. I told you he loves you, because he told you this. People who love you, anyone who loves you is going to put you on game. Anyone who does not love you is going to, one, obviously not going to put you on game, because they don't want you to know anything. Anybody that loves you wants you to learn, wants you to know. I told you I love you. I'm going to tell you this. How many people you know is going to tell you this? I mean, there are people that are going to tell you this, but you know what I mean. People who don't love you, basically, they won't tell you this, though. They're not going to want to keep you in the light. They want to keep you in the darkness. Now, I want to talk about another point here. A key point that no one really talks about. All right, and that's praise. A key point that no one really talks about is praise. Now, praise, not only does it confuse the enemy, it confuses the devil, but it executes. It destroys strongholds. Reconnecting, boom, got it. See, the devil thought he had me, but reconnecting, boom, got it. See, the devil thought he had me, but we come different. The devil can't touch. Can't touch this. I'm sorry. Couldn't help but to do it. All right. So let me repeat that. Praise. It does two things. I mean, it does more than two things, but the top two things that it does. It confuses the enemy. That means if you're going through a bad season, right? You're going through a bad season and you're praising God in that bad season, it confuses the enemy because he's thinking that you are gonna be like gnashing your teeth, talking bad about God in your down season. But when you're in a down season and you're praising God, it confuses him. He's like, oh no, I thought I did enough to take him out. Not enough, cause right? And then also what praising God does is it executes strongholds. It also helps to tear down our strongholds in our mind, giving him praise. Now, a solid question. I'm getting like multiple disconnections here, and I can tell. I already know the enemy don't want me to get this info out to you guys, but we're gonna get it out before anything. Now, we're talking about praise right now. Praise. Now, praise, it once again does two things. It executes the stronghold that's in our mind, and it confuses the enemy, right? When we're talking about praise, what can we think about? What's the highest level of praise? What's the highest level that we can say we're praising God? Now, I'm sure most people, when you think about praise, you're thinking about singing songs, you're thinking about, worshiping, things of that nature, right? Which is good too, but that's not the highest level of praise. I'll tell you what the highest level of praise is. The highest level of praise is our obedience to God. There's a verse in the Bible where it says obedience is basically stronger. It's better than sacrifice, and it says that for a reason. Hold on one sec. Let me make sure this is connected and going strong. I know the devil's trying to attack. He's always on the attack. Jesus King. That's right. Jesus King. God bless you too, Connor. Hey, see that? Hey, you see how God work, right? You found a video while fighting off temptation. That's God right there. That's simply God. Like, God knows who to put in front of us. He knows how to, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, he knows how to operate. Like, point blank, period. Period. Like, God just knows how to operate. God bless you though too, my boy. God bless you. Alright? So once again, we're talking about praise. The highest level, you already know, the highest level of praise people would think is like singing songs. Hey, New Zealand, I like that. Alright, that's what's up. I'll come visit New Zealand sometime around. I like that part of town. Appreciate you. I will keep going. Now, the highest level of praise, once again, is obedience. People think the highest level of praise is in worship, singing songs, things like that. It's really in obedience. Praising God in obedience is the highest level of praise any of us can do when you obey Him. Obedience is to God. He says that obedience is more important to Him than sacrifice. Like a lot of people like sacrificing, walking in the spirit. Amen. Denying the flesh. Amen. Yes. Exactly. People think people think that sacrificing, when they sacrifice, right? They think that that alone is what's gonna like make God happy. Like say for example, you're sacrificing, but you're not being obedient. You think he's ultimately gonna be happy with you? No, because it tells you how he views things. He likes when you obey more than sacrifice. That's what he likes. So when we're doing just that, then he can really work with us. Now, fasting. I want to talk about fasting and praying. Now, fasting and praying is something that often gets overlooked. All right? Fasting and praying over yourself to God to purge you of any sexual urges, sexual sin. You know, I'm trying to say, like, it's important that we pray over ourselves because our flesh is weak. We're still, as long as we live. Let me make this statement real quick. As long as we live on this planet, people think because, and I love it when people who are like not in God at all, they like to try to come for people who are in God, right? They like to be like, you know, they're the first ones to like to come and try to point their fingers at you if you're like either doing wrong or even in a smidge of doing wrong. They'd be like, oh, you're lustful, you're sinning, da da da. Yeah, more deny my flesh, how I can get free from these demons while I was listening to the world. I got an answer straight away. Boom. You already know. This is my third video. I'm doing a 3-part series. This is my third 3 parts. This is my third part to the series. I have 2 more videos that I already recorded. If you haven't already, go check them out, bro. Go check them out. I try to break everything down. I decided to break it down within 3. You can't just break it. You can't just lust is such a like issue in this world. You can't just speak about it in one session. You got to really take your time to break it down. Appreciate that. Yes. Hey. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what's up. Yes, sir. You know, and I'll be praying for you too. All right. Now, once again, it is important that we pray over ourselves concerning these matters of breaking off these sexual thoughts. You know, there was a point that I was going to say, like, basically, where people in the world, okay, I know I was going to get at, people in the world are quick to want to point fingers at you, right, when they see that you're doing wrong. And what I wanted to say was, as long as we're living here in this world, we're all human, right? As long as we're living, it doesn't matter how close we get to God, you're always going to struggle with sexual thoughts, or you're going to struggle with some sort of sexual, I mean, and yes, the closer we get to God, the easier it is to break these things, or the more we won't think about these things, should I say. But it will not necessarily say you will always be free from these things. You get what I'm trying to say? So what happens is, it's best that we, you know, try to get a hold of these things while we can, because we're always in the flesh. As long as we're here on this planet, it's always going to be somewhat of a temptation or a struggle that try to come our way, mentally or physically. Like, it's always going to be something like that, right? The devil's always going to try to accuse. So, in that sense, we got to pray over ourselves, knock it out, get it out the way, so that way we're not struggling on that level that we once were struggling with it. He works through people who worship the world in themselves. 100%. 100%. Right? Now, I wanna go over something real quick too. There's a verse in Isaiah 58 verse 6 through 7. I've actually got a few percentages on this one on my TikTok, so I'm gonna try to see how I can get everything in. So, and you know what? What I'm gonna do is, no, I'm gonna try to see if I can get it done. All right, Isaiah 58 verse 6 through 7. It says, and basically this speaks on how God wants us to fast, right? He wants us to fast a certain type of way. He wants us to fast pray while we're fasting, right? And there's a third one that a lot of people haven't thought about: giving. Fast, pray, and give. Fast, pray, and give. Fast, pray, and give. Fast, pray, and give. He wants us to do these three things when we're fasting. And this will cause things in the spiritual to move. Okay, this is Isaiah 58, 6 through 7. Isaiah 58, 6 through 7. All right. And this is once again, hey, you my boy. It's check me out. I got you too. Um, he wants us to fast. When we're fasting, fast, pray, and give, right? And what does this do in the spiritual realm? See, once again, we're in the physical. We're not a lot of people, we're not thinking spiritually. But God gives us certain instructions for a reason, because he knows what will help move the spiritual too. So if you want things to move spiritually for you, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. You fast. You fast from food, from lust, from entertainment, from things of the world, and you pray. You have conversation, talk to God, tell him your needs, your wants, have regular conversation. Honestly, go as far as talking to him as if he's your friend. Like, hey, how's your day? Like, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure he'll like that if you think about it. But we all like to talk about, be approached like that. So imagine if we're talking to him like that. Hey, how was your day? I hope you're having a fantastic day today, Father. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, have casual conversation. It's not just people just always just want to ask him for things. It's not just about asking him. Sometimes it's just about having casual conversation too. You know what I'm trying to say? If you have something on your mind, talk to him about that. Casually, bring it to him. Whatever. Like, and then last one is giving. While you're fasting and praying, give. Give to the homeless. Give, help another person out in need. Giving is huge to God. He's always given us, so he wants us to be his children. What are we to him? His children. So he wants us to take after him. Give as well. He wants us to imitate him. And now, doing all these three things, what it does is it begins to move things spiritually in the spirit. All right. Now, actually, so that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for this, guys. I have a small portion that I want to leave for next week. I want to go more into detail about that. It's not, it's going to be like a special side little, thing that I want to include. I was going to leave it for the end of this video, but because this side here, I can't even speak right now. Not my memory, but my batteries is looking pretty bad, beat up. I want to make sure I get everything across, so I don't want anything to die and things like that. So I'm going to leave it for next week. So basically, you know where to find me, guys. Tune in, same time, same day next week. Generally speaking, I'll try to go live around 10, 11 o'clock next week, Wednesday. And I'll go over this final piece that, God bless you too, my boy. God, and that I feel like is going to be huge. It's more so directed towards the men, because I really want to talk to my brothers on the whole lustful situation, right? Because I feel like it's a really huge thing that we need to really like get a hold of. Because if I feel like, think about it like this: if men can get right in this area of lust, the whole world gets better. The reason why the world is messed up the way that it is today, I'm gonna make this strong, solid statement. The reason why this world is messed up the way that it is because the lust of man. That's why it's so messed up and beat up. All right. So I'm gonna leave that for next week, and yeah, we're gonna conclude it here. Have a blessed day, my boy. Yes, sir. You know where to find me. Check out my other videos. Yes, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Check out my YouTube and all that. And once again, guys, this is the part 3. This is part 3 to the, peace out, my boy. This is part 3 to our lust series. I got one more special part of this series for next week. I'll leave it for next week. And yeah, that'll pretty much be it. Um, much love, everybody. Catch me on the flip. I'll catch you guys next week. Like I said, about next week Wednesday about 11, 12, no 10, 11 o'clock. 10, 11 o'clock. Depends on what time I get set up. And yeah, I'll be back. This is my confirmation to start fasting again. Hey, I'm telling you, God knows how to work. He knows who to send to us. Yes, God is like so spot on in timing. Like God don't play by His timing, bro. That's one thing that I'm starting to like see more and more. Like He knows what to put in front of us, who to put in front of us. Like His timing is on point. So yeah, man, check me out and appreciate the support and thank you for being humble yourself. So with that being said, I love you all. My eyes have been opened and I'm noticing everything He does for me. 100%, bro. That's how He operates, bro. Have a good one too, boy. Have a good one. All right, you guys. Love you guys. Love you all. Once again, I'm putting you on game because I love you. And I catch you guys same time next week. I'll let you baller. Shot caller. Skirt. We out. Truth be told, we out.